I'm looking for a woman young enough to have children because I don't have children and I want to be a dad. So I'll give you everything if you give me everything. Couldn't even get to that point. But I could have that conversation with a woman in the Philippines like I had with Jayanne, and she would say, okay, tell me more.
It's been the hottest buzzword in American dating and marriage culture on social media over the past 2 years. In this video, I take you back to how it all started, and you'll hear from all the relevant sides. I'll also explain why some American women were especially triggered by this trend and what their arguments were. But first, what is a passport bro?
Put it simply, a passport bro is a term used to describe a Western man who leaves their country in order to find a woman from a non-Western country. There's many reasons they do this. Some can't find a partner in their own countries, some are seeking more traditional relationships, and some just have a preference for foreign women. It's a controversial topic because a lot of Western women believe that it's exploitation. Now, exploitation does happen, but this is a bad overgeneralization. And the reason it's bad is because it insinuates that all women from these countries are either desperate, uneducated, or deceitful, which is just not true.
So how did American women first react to this trend? Well, they instantly came in with some heat and went on the offensive against passport bros and foreign women altogether. Initially, they said they do not care because these men who were leaving are undesired in America anyway.
We do not care if y'all go out of the country to find y'all a wife who is traditional, okay?
You know why? Because we don't care. Look, we don't care. We do not care.
Then they accuse passport bros of only going to countries where the women are uneducated and speak little or no English just to take advantage of them.
You pay attention to the passport bros, like they're getting women from like the DR, Colombia,
Yes.
The Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English, women that don't have education, women that
need them. Women that need them.
Women are raised to be wives. They learn everything from birth, damn near, from their father, from their mother, how to be a wife and how to support your man.
Women that need them.
It's not even women that need them, it's women that treat them with respect.
So we don't.
Y'all know y'all don't.
This accusation is inaccurate and easy to debunk. In this day and age, most people under the age of 30, even in so-called third world countries, know or speak some level of English, and passport bros can easily confirm this.
I can tell you from experience that couldn't be farther from the truth. The Philippines actually has English as their second language, and they currently rank 18th in proficiency out of 112 countries that speak English in the world.
American women also accused passport bros of looking for poor, submissive women to exploit, and even suggested that these men were pervy.
Why do you think so many men are traveling overseas to find wives in other countries?
Men are traveling overseas to find wives in other countries. Why? I'm right here. I'm single. Why? I want to be married.
Right, but I'm saying, do you typically see women traveling overseas to find husbands?
Men are traveling overseas to countries that have less money and less education, it's because they want a woman who is dependent on them for their livelihood, for their resources, to have a good life. And I don't think that that is a good thing.
A lot of the men I know that go overseas to find wives are not great dudes.
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, they're pervy.
What do you mean by that?
Did the hate stop? No, it actually intensified. As more passport bros continued to share videos of their experiences in women from abroad, American women became even more triggered, resorting to wild accusations, insults, and name-calling like never before.
Every passport bro I know in the real world is an American bottom feeder in our dating pool, okay?
Damn, that is so negative and disrespectful. Wow.
He complains about gold diggers while he has no gold. He wants to escape the dating expectations of American women, but then complains about the marriage expectations of traditional foreign women.
I've seen a lot of content about passport bros, and that's not true.
They want a woman who isn't ran through after they spent their whole life running through women. Like, you were okay with exploiting American women so long as it appeased your agenda, but at the end of the day, if the women here are ran through, it was you or your predecessors that ran through us.
Good one.
I mean, women control access to sex, so I'm not sure you can blame the passport bros for that.
If you are a man and brag about go to underprivileged third world countries to get a wife, an obedient wife, you are a predator.
The backlash from American women on social media became so loud and insane that passport bros had no choice but to respond, shutting down as much of the fake news and insults as possible. In hindsight, although it was the right choice, it made the whole passport bro movement dramatically toxic online.
Only men who like to go overseas to find a partner is men who like to prey on vulnerable women. Because when you go find a wife in the Philippines or Thailand or Eastern Europe or wherever these places are that are overseas, I'm assuming you mean they're more biddable, that they're less outspoken, they don't demand anything of you, that they're just happy to be rescued from their poverty-stricken life of no opportunity.
This is bullshit. Think she down in passport bros? They came at her instead. Look at all these Filipinas. Heal, my dear. A queen doesn't break another queen's crown. I'd be happy for them and celebrate. They don't like that this lady made this video about us passport blue book gentlemen. Another comment. Jealousy and bitterness is in her. It's so obvious.
We don't talk enough about how passport bros are just predators.
I'm not a predator if I sleep with women in America, but if I sleep with women outside of America, I'm a predator. Got you. Guess that means you should stop sleeping with people in different states too, right? You live in Florida. Don't sleep with somebody in Chicago. You're a predator. Logic. The obesity rate in a different country is not as high as America. Stay here and sleep with all the mammoths. Got it?
In light of such gross disrespect, how did foreign women initially react? After seeing hundreds of videos where American women attacked them, calling them victims, uneducated, third world slaves, and poor women, they had every right to fight back and defend themselves, as well as their passport bro husbands and boyfriends. It's actually quite wholesome how Filipinas in particular responded.
Essentially what they're going to do is find a woman, many of whom are very young, because in many of these countries they're going to, the legal age of consent is much younger than the United States. If you don't see why that's disturbing, get some help. They're going after these women who are very young, very vulnerable, very naive, usually in poor families, and they're essentially buying these women from their families, which, I'm sorry, is human trafficking. You're going to another country to buy a wife out of poverty and bring her back here to essentially be your housekeeper and sex slave. It's human trafficking. You can throw a marriage certificate on it to make it look more wholesome, but it's human trafficking. That's what it is.
I wanna let you know you're number one on my billboard. You're number one on my billboard. You're number one on my billboard. You're my number one, you're the billboard.
Get our passports, bro. They don't appreciate us here.
It's an opportunity for them to go in search of spouses who they feel are going to be more subservient to them and do what they want, basically some sort of indentured servitude.
It's easier for these men to go overseas, get one of these victims.
A lot of these passport bros are exploiting a power imbalance economically.
Y'all are taking advantage of these women.
If you feel that you need to go to Antarctica to marry a polar bear,
but they're still doing the, oh, we're just going to leave and go to another country and find women, or you're going to die alone. Good luck dying alone with your cats.
Get a polar bear.
Yeah, it is much easier for these passport bros to go to other countries and exploit younger, more impressionable, less educated or uneducated girls living in poverty.
First, it's none of your business. Second, it's their money. It's their life. And it's not foreign women's fault if American men fall for them instead of you. You must understand, like us Filipino, we are naturally sweet and naturally compassionate. Doesn't matter if you are our boyfriend, husband, or lover. If you are just our friend or cousin or whatever, neighbor, we are naturally like that. Okay? And that's what they like about us, because we are just sweet. We're very personable, understanding, caring. It's not because we are submissive. We're not submissive. You ask my husband that, he will tell you I'm not submissive. We are just naturally family-oriented people, that's all. And you can't deny the fact, here in the United States, it's not like that anymore.
Oh, Filipinas did not waste the opportunity to flex on Western women, showing how awesomely they were receiving and treating passport bros. Even more, they demonstrated how being traditionally feminine not only meant taking exceptional care of these men, but also ensuring they make their lives better and their relationships everlasting. So sweet.
One thing I really liked, even before we got married, he respects my family as much as he respects me. That's it.
Is there anything else you like about your husband?
Nothing. Look at him. He cares about his reputation a lot. Like, he tries to act cool, but when there's no camera, when there's nobody around, he can be the most crazy person in the world. He always go and do stupid things and make me laugh. Like, there's a lot of times I cry because I laugh too much. Like, my tummy was paining and stuff. Like, he's really funny. Yeah, that's another thing. Caring and loving, those are like, of course, I didn't even think about it. But yeah, he's loving and caring. Actually, yeah, he loves me so much.
Wow.
Okay. Number one, you have to keep the house impeccably clean, okay? You gotta make sure the toilet is spotless. Make sure that you pick up after yourself. There never should be any dishes in the sink, like ever. Okay, number two, you have to make sure that dinner is always ready exactly like they like it. Make sure you ask in advance so that dinner is hot and ready when they get home. Number three, having a massage in the morning and the night is really important. So make sure that you massage the feet, the shoulders, wherever the stress areas are for at least 45 minutes. But note that it could also go up to 2 hours depending on how stressed they are. And that's fine because that makes a marriage happy. And then last, but certainly not least, make sure their coffee is ready in the morning. That's really important because they work really hard and you want to make sure that they have everything they need to succeed in their day. So that's...
Your coffee, madam. I trust you'll find it to your liking.
Thank you, babe. Cheers.
Now, the most important question of all. What was the impression and experience of the first passport bros who got on the trend early? Well, it turned out overwhelmingly positive for the majority of them, and they were not shy about sharing their experiences with feminine, traditional women on social media, or even bragging about it.
And I've had good relationships in my life, but I have never felt like a king or got true king treatment until I went out of this country.
Facts.
Where you're praised, especially as a black man, and one, I'm from America, and two, I'm black.
For being you, right.
It's like the world is yours whenever you leave this country.
Listen, I've traveled over 12 countries. He's absolutely correct. Case in point, he's in Thailand.
Well, I'm okay, thank you. I'm okay.
And one of the 12 countries that I've been to is Thailand. And what you just saw is absolutely facts. Passport boys, we up!
So I married a Japanese woman. She's absolutely awesome. Let me tell you a little story. For around 10 years, I was dating around in the West. A number of terrible relationships full of shit testing, shit talking, downright emotional abuse, really. My heart completely shut. I just couldn't open up to anyone anymore. Then I went to Japan, and within 3 months, I met my wife. She was just so caring, so supportive. She genuinely wished for me to feel happy. She was the one who finally managed to unlock my heart. I fell for her. I don't wonder at all why #passport bros exist.
Oh yeah, these sorts of videos that passport bros began sharing on social media were exactly what triggered American women. It makes sense considering America is facing a dating and marriage crisis. Seeing so many men leave the country for foreign women struck a nerve. They know it's further shrinking the dating pool. Deep down, they probably wanted passport bros to stay and endure the toxic dating scene in America rather than seek happiness elsewhere.
So men looking for casual dates and our relationships is down 50%, 50, since 2019. Not since 1970, since 2019, right before the pandemic, down 50%. They're not fucking looking, which means if you're a woman looking, they don't fucking give a shit.
In China, if you're a woman, single, and over 30, you are called 剩女, which means leftover woman in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you are called 羅底橙, 賣剩蔗, and 攝造辣, which means orange at the bottom of the basket, the sugar cane that didn't get sold, and the thing used for filling the gap of the stove. But if you're a man, single, and over 30, you are called 钻石王老五, which means a diamond bachelor in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you're called 筍盤, which means quality real estate.